can't sing. Alright, enough of that. I like that song. Today's episode is going to be Don't Force Shit. That's what it's called. Don't Force Shit. We're going to be talking about how people force things, how we force things sometimes. Okay. So what made me come to think about this was I was doing a show last month, a live show out in the East Village, and my producer and I were talking, and I was going through the universal laws, and she notices that I had a little issue with the law of rhythm. I didn't really, I didn't understand how it was affecting me. And it was interesting why I didn't understand it, because it was one of the lessons that I've yet to master, I should say. So one of the laws that I really got, because I didn't master it yet. So I want to talk about that. Let's first and foremost, let me introduce you to the concept and the idea and the universal law of rhythm. Okay, so that law of rhythm is a law, and it states that it's a natural law. Now, when I say universal law, I mean that these things govern areas and things in this universe that you don't realize yet. You know what I'm saying? Some people do realize it, some people don't. Some people are not awakened to it. But whenever you do awaken to it, you will start to realize that this is something you already knew. You just didn't know it in this perception, because perception is everything. Okay? So let's focus on the law. Now, the universal law states that there's a natural rise and fall in all things that vibrate, are living, or have polarized opposites. So one of the very common examples that are given about the law of rhythm is the rise and fall of the moon, the sun, and the tides, the ocean. The whoosh, 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 that. Okay? That is in the physical for you to understand the law of rhythm. But that law applies to everything, to energy, to attitudes, to emotions, okay, to all the elements in the universe that law applies to. Okay? So that's important. The reason why I mention that is because when that natural rhythm, that natural, state of flow comes to meet something with resistance, it causes tension, and it causes, friction in life. So just as if something held back the moon from falling, or held back the sun from rising, then it would obviously cause some cataclysmic fucking world event, and we would all be affected by it. Okay, so this is exactly what happens when people resist and cause resistance and restraint against the natural flow of energy. So that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I'm going to talk about things like that. All right. So now when that starts to happen, it manifests as, tension, friction, shit like that. Now when you feel friction in the air, energy wise, this also, comes up as fights. People start fighting and stuff like that. You see this all around you. You'll see arguments, you'll see fights, you'll see physical altercations, you'll see inner struggles and stress. When people start manifesting inner struggles with their decisions, listen, this is how I feel, oh my God, they're making decisions that are inside, out on the outside, they're yeah, I'll do this, that, and the third, because the natural flow of that is happening. But on the inside, if it's something that's against the natural flow, on the inside they're having turmoil. They're met with conflict with these things on the inside. That's because you're you're causing some sort of a resistance in something that's otherwise would be natural. Okay, so physical altercations, like I said, arguments, fights, these things start to manifest. This is because each person has their own rhythm. So look at it like this. Being that I used the whole idea of the sun and the moon and the tide, look at it as each human being in the world has their own rhythm, and that rhythm is a beach. All right? Think about a beach. Think about an ocean front, an ocean shore, ocean coastline, in and out, and then think about a sun and a moon falling on it. And this is your own personal world and your own personal rhythm. Okay? Just like the universe has one and the earth has one. Think about your own personal sun and moon or beach, coastline, washing of the waves. Okay? That's your natural flow. Each person has that one thing, that own way of being, their own personal flow. My beach water might be like your beach water might be like somebody else's beach water might be like, whatever. Everybody has their own rhythm. I'm just using this as an example for you to understand what I mean. So this changes, on according to the way they handle situations. So each person has their own shit. Now, if you and I have a relationship with one another, or we're friends, or we gain, whatever, we're around each other, then you trying to force my ocean to be like your ocean is going to cause a problem. You understand what I'm saying? Or for you to try to make me ready, you know what I'm saying, to be on your vibration or your rhythm without my natural flow and willingness of that, it causes friction. It causes problems. You understand? This is what people have to understand. This is when you understand these types of things, then you know how to swag shit out. This is about mastery. This is not about like, oh, I'm human and I just, you know what I'm saying? I'm human, so I ain't perfect. That's the type of mind frame you're gonna have, then it's kind of like, all right, cool, regular shit. Like, don't watch these types of videos. You know what I'm saying? Because this is for the person that wants to master and they have their mind frame like, yo, why do we act like this? Why do we think these ways? Why do things manifest in this way? Like, I know so many people that are just so interested in manifesting the positive, but have no idea how the negative manifests. I'm gonna just tell you a secret right now for those who believe in the secret only and think that you could just manifest shit out of thought. The secret is that when you start thinking about what you do want, the shit you don't want comes first. And you gotta learn how to master that. Okay? So, because otherwise you just have the same sick fucking mind that creates the same shit you don't want to keep happening. Okay? So now, like I said, it manifests in all these different ways. So it causes agitation, frustration, arguments, fights, physical altercations, inner struggles and stress, depressions, addictions, shit like that. When you start to resist the natural flow of things, you start to fuck with the way you're supposed to evolve. You have natural cycles, okay? And so this is where we're going to go into this. All right, so now, each soul's lifetime has a series of lessons. Each human person has a soul, in my opinion. If you don't believe you don't have a soul, then ask yourself what the fuck in you is thinking that you don't have a soul. That thing that is thinking that powerful thought process, because physically, yeah, you're manifested in a body, but that thing that goes to bed and still is awake and makes you emotionally react, what is that? Consciousness, soul, whatever, spirit, okay, energy, whatever you want to call it. That's what that is. So each person comes equipped with a series of lessons, okay? So each lifetime, you're going to have a series of lessons that are going to manifest in your life. They're going to occur. So each one of these lessons that you have, so there's a series, there's a couple of them, okay? So each lesson that each person has, they also are attached to cycles. These cycles are inside of these lessons. You know what I'm saying? So the cycles are going to repeat because they're meaning to elevate you and assist you as you start to grow to your next level. I'm going to say that again. So, as an example, okay? You're in this world, all right, and you're having a circumstance come up over and over and over again, and you're like, yo, why this keeps happening to me? Why do I keep going through this? Why do I still have the same reaction to things? Why am I still going and having this experience? It's because you're stuck in a loop, and the reason why these things keep happening, it's not to you, it's not to hurt you, and it's not, it's not because any force is outside of you, is against you. It's the universe conspiring along with the shit that you think and put out into the universe, all right? And it's conspiring to help you and elevate you. But you won't be able to elevate until you understand the cycle, till you understand the lesson, till you understand and learn and see without your eyeballs, kind of like your mind seeing the shit from a different perception. Like, okay, I need not to do this. This is affecting this. I need to do this. This affects that. Whatever your personal shit is. But you have to understand that there's so many other things outside of it that are tied into those things. So, I mean, I can't get into detail about that because, everybody's different. So what I'm trying to tell you is this, that the things that you're cycling is because you're forcing yourself to be out of a lesson you're not ready to be out of. Don't force shit. Don't think in your mind you're ready for something and it's clear that you're manifesting shit for yourself to still figure out. Okay? You have to take that and understand that. When you start to see that and understand that, then you're going to be like, oh, okay, I see. I'm excuse me. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be like, I see here now where I am, where I'm at. And then when you see the universe is conspiring with you and they're going to give you the opportunities to grow. Those opportunities may not be shit we want sometimes. But that's why mastery is important. Because when you start to become aware of your subconscious shit and you start to undo all of that, then you're able to master the types of things you focus and spend energy on. Therefore, you create with the universe the shit that you want for yourself. You understand? So each one of these things, sometimes they pop up and it makes us feel like, wow, like, yo, I'm not ready yet, or whatever. But it's not for you to beat yourself up about. It's not for you to feel like, yo, I'm fucked up, or I don't deserve it, or the world is against me. No, these things are meaning to assist you and elevate you to the next level. It's just like a video game, okay? Life is very much like a video game for the men that watch me, all right, and for the women that enjoy video games. And I really don't play video games. So one of the last video games that I used to love playing as a kid was Mario Brothers or Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Those were the last games that I played, and those games always had a level, and you couldn't get past that level unless you beat all types of things that came at you, little mushroom heads, little this, that, and third, little Goombas and the little spikes, and you had to get your rings, you had to get your coins or whatever, or your points or your power, and you had to use those powers to defeat certain types of level bad guys that were hindering you from winning the level. You get the point. Life is much like that, and those things that are coming against you are not we look at them like they're bad things or it's other people and they're the reasons why we're going through that. No, it's because we're forcing things and we're not paying attention to the natural rhythm in our lives, and we're not going through the things correctly. We're forcing areas and energies that are otherwise hindering blessings and elevations and new levels in our life. So you have to understand that, okay? All right? We don't see it that way because we it's easier to blame circumstance and situations outside of ourselves. Like, yo, this is the reason why. I'm sorry, you guys, I keep messing with my hair. Like, these are the reasons why I'm doing this. These are the reasons why. It's because this person did this. It's because I did this. It's because I let this person. It's because that. It's because that. And it's easy to feel like that. It is. But the reason why we let anyone anything is because we do not realize our rhythm and the natural flow of things. Okay? Test. Like, you be like, oh, I'm being tested. Like, yo, God is testing me right now. Or this is this and that is that. Couldn't tell you, you know what I'm saying, what God's intent is. But I know for one thing that it's not so much as a test. These things are our choices, our free will. You understand? There are outside influences on us and around us. Often they're the things that we can't control but desire to control. You understand? So I'm bringing that up to lead me into the whole thing about forcing and being forceful. Okay? You can't force shit. You cannot force things you cannot control. And a lot of the times we sit there and like, yo, I'm not trying to force this. He did that. That's on his choice. Or she did that. Or they did this. Or they did whatever. But the truth of the matter is, most often we are trying to manipulate circumstances to benefit us. We don't even get humans. It's not in our instinct. It's not in our nature to involve ourselves in things that don't benefit us. Okay? So most of the time we are trying to manipulate things and force shit, even though we don't realize it. Okay? So when you start to obey the natural rhythm of the universe and the way it's coming on big, giant, major scales and minor scales, you're starting to master your life. All right. So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about mastery. All right. So that's when you start to focus your energy on the correct shit and you start to manifest those things. All right. So when you understand, right, that energy is also in rhythm and in flow, then you're gonna start to pull in a mastery concept of it. Like, yo, how do I understand the harmony? How can I understand you understand the balance? Because everything is, if I told you that there's a sun and a moon and a natural in and out of things and a rise and a fall to things, that means that there's a polarized, aspect of shit. So at the same time, there's a balance. Sometimes things are extreme high, sometimes it's extreme low. So it depends, left or right, whatever. But harmony is the balance, and that takes mastery. That's not easily achieved. That's not just like, oh, I'm having a good day, so I'm in balance today. That's not really the case. It fluctuates all the time. So one has to master one's own energy. This is going to take actual practice and application, and this is daily. This is not some days. So many people are like, yo, I'm woke, and yeah, I do this and I do that, but on sometimes I'm this and sometimes I'm that. That's like me. I'm not even like, I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I'm not saying that I'm like innocent, and I know this, and this is why I know this information, because as much as I have knowledge on certain shit, I'll sometimes throw all that knowledge away and go have a regular day with my regular friends and put myself back a decade worth of knowledge and have to restart everything. Because once you're trying to apply some real different shit in your life, it has to be consecutive. It cannot be sometimes. It cannot be only with certain people. It can't work like that. It has to be every single day. You have to put your best foot forward and start doing new shit and having new approaches and new belief systems in order for you to keep that idea of mastery. The moment you go back into your bullshit and I could do this and I could do that, that's when you're not mastering nothing. You know what I'm saying? Once you think you're mastered something and you start doing regular shit again, thinking you got some sort of mastery, you ain't master anything at all. I don't even know who you're fooling at that point. This is what I'm telling you through personal experience. Not because I'm judging you. Not because I'm saying I'm better than any fucking body. Which people seem to fucking think so much. Anyway, I'm not. Okay, so basically in our lives, we have our own personal rhythms, all right? So you got your own inner clockwork, like I said, and you have to master your own inner clockwork, your own rhythm. So it's important to not force shit, because you're going to break things. You understand what I'm saying? You break things like that. You cause a disturbance in the energy fields like that. Things only push. When you got a magnet and you got a negative and a positive, they resist each other or whatever it is. Or you put two whatever the hell it is, whatever the rules are. But magnets will repel one another. So energy is much like that. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can feel it if you're awake enough. Or you might not be awake to it, but if you think back and you know what I'm saying, you think about circumstances like, yo, when I forced myself in this area, when I tried for them to understand this or see it my way, all we did was fight. That's called the fucking resistance. Okay, that's the resistance. Stop thinking that it needs to be some physical weird ass magnetic shield that goes for you to understand that you're causing resistance and shit. Fights happen around you, there's a resistance. You're trying to force something somewhere it doesn't belong yet, or if ever, or anymore, if that makes any sense. Okay? Sometimes we force ourselves into shit that we no longer fit in. Sometimes we grow out of shit. When you grow out of shit and you're still trying to force it to fit, you're just going to bust shit. You're going to bust either the vessel that's trying to contain it, or if not, you'll ruin yourself trying to fit yourself into it. Okay? So that's number one. If you're trying to force yourself in a place that you're not ready for, you will drown in a situation that you're not ready for, or become devoured in a situation that you was not ready for. Don't force things or energies that you are not ready yet or fully equipped to handle, or the perception or the understanding. It's like a child. It's like giving a child a fucking chainsaw, like, cut me and build me a house. They cannot understand or house that information. You understand what I'm saying? And most likely that child is going to be like, can't even have the physical strength to hold it up and fucking drill himself down, saw himself in half. What I'm trying to say to you is that you don't what you're not ready for, don't put yourself into. You know what I'm saying? Don't force it. Wait patiently. Wait. You know what I'm saying? The student has to master certain shit sometimes. You don't think like, oh, this is happening to me because I'm fucked up, or because, you know, people did this to me or whatever. You have to understand that there's a time and an energy for everything, and you have to let the natural flow of it occur. And sometimes people ain't even doing nothing when it's time to do something. You understand? Because you're so used to, you know, resisting change or growth or something new or whatever. You understand? So the thing is to become aware of your personal rhythm and how things are coming in and out, how things are rising and falling, how your emotions, your passions, your thoughts, your physical body, you know, all of that, your soul, everything. These things are super important. You exist in the physical, you also exist in the spiritual at the same time. At the same time. It's not separate. It's happening at the same time. And it's you, and they affect each other. They affect each other. Your physical choices. Don't nobody could sit here and tell me they religious, excuse me. Nobody sit here and tell me that they religious and tell me that they don't believe in, you know, that the physical is not attached to the spiritual, because obviously you all think you need to be good people or you going to hell, because people always be like, yo, I'm going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, said that. So if your physical self is affecting your spiritual self, then your spiritual self also should be affecting your physical self. Why not? Right? If it's the rise and the fall, and the universal law is that, it is. So you have to pay attention to that, and it's your responsibility to become aware of that. Straight up. All right? So I say that to say, don't force yourself on people, okay? And don't allow others to force themselves on you. Don't force your will onto other people, and don't allow other people to force their will onto you. Don't force someone else to see your worth. All right? Because they're only going to see your value the way you value yourself, the way you look at yourself worthy. You sometimes we get into situations and we want people to look at us and value us and see us as valuable. And it's unfortunate. I've been there. I'm not no different. I was just telling an ex of mine, like, yo, I realized that I spent so much energy on a certain area of my life and career because I wanted to be of value to you. Because you only valued certain things. He didn't value me, so he only valued certain things in life. And when I seen those things that he valued, I geared my entire energy and career to mastering those things or becoming valuable in that area so he could value me. And I spent a lot of time not knowing who I was and what I liked because I was too busy trying to prepare myself for him to like me. Okay? So don't force things that are not for you, and don't force other people to see your value. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, now on the flip side, that circumstance, I can take that circumstance and value myself and say I'm an asset. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, because for whoever I love and the way I love, my attempts will always be, you know, self-sacrificial and dedicating. Not that that's always the best. There's a healthy aspect of that, and there's an unhealthy aspect of that. That can be extreme, just like all the polarities that I'm telling you guys about. So it's very intricate when you look at things, but it's dope when you look at them like that. All right. On another note, also I want to say that don't force anyone to love you, because if this is the thing about forcing people to love us. Okay, so many times we're like, you know, you don't love me, you this, you that. You know, I always say to men, and this goes both sexes, both ways. If you have to force someone to love you, or you have to manipulate them to love you, or you have to draw out on a fucking paper, or write down a list, or break yourself and lose parts of yourselves in order for them to love you, the love that they're going to give you is not going to be enjoyable, because it's going to be with resistance. It's going to come with that forceful that I was talking about, that even when they love you, it will be like very minimal or just funky. You want free will love. You want real love. You understand? You want nothing, not guilt love. Not situations that you know what I'm saying, you use the last thing that they did to hurt you to subdue them into love. These are forceful tactics, and they also create karma for you, because this is you resisting your lessons. When you force shit, you're also resisting lessons, and so you're not elevating your cycles and your understanding, so you won't grow, and you won't even be able to have a better relationship because you don't even know what the fuck you're doing with this one. All right, pay attention to that. Okay, so also I wanted to say this, and it might come off wrong. I'm just going to say it, but I'm going to say how I think about it. When a person forces themselves to be loved on another person, or forces, tries to manipulate the situation or like that, or whatever have you, like, right? So if you must force someone to love you, I feel like you're not worthy of love yet. You understand what I'm saying? Not that you're not worthy of love, not that you're not lovable. I'm sure there's aspects of you that are lovable, but you're not worthy of love because you don't know how to love. Forcing someone to love you is not love. It's fear, okay? It's the fear of lack of love for yourself, for oneself. It's the type of love that you know what I'm saying? Like, that type of mind frame, that's such a profound thing. And sometimes when I hit messages on profound shit like that, I get very like, oh my God, I don't want to lose that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to get this to you clearly. Don't force anyone to love you, because if you must force someone to love you, you are not worthy of love to begin with. Okay? And it means that because you have to force someone else to love you, that means that that's not loving. You forcing other people is not loving them. That's fear of love for one's own self. So the type of love that person needs is the type of love that comes from the renewal of your mind and belief patterns. And that shit is a love that you can only give yourself. Nobody will be able to give you that type of love. So you can't, once you find yourself feeling like you're forcing somebody to love you, I'm telling you right now, as your dear friend, if you're watching this, if you're the type of person that you've been like lately, like, damn, I love this person, but I feel like I'm forcing them to be in this with me. I'm telling you now, you have hit a very sensitive place on an energetical level and a spiritual level. The type of love you're looking for doesn't come from other people. It comes from God. It comes from spirit. It comes from knowing your true self. It comes from mastery and understanding and overstanding, I should say. So you need to hold yourself back, give that person respect and space, and start loving on yourself and understanding these types of things that I'm talking about. You ain't got to break up with them. You ain't got to leave them. You ain't got to, look at yourself like you ain't no good, but you need to give them their space and not throw that on them, and don't throw that forceful energy on them, because you're creating resistance and friction and tension in the relationship by bringing that energy in. So you have to pull back and understand that love that you're yearning for is deeper than what you're asking for. Because even if they loved you, it wouldn't fulfill you. I'm telling you now. All right? And last, I want to say, don't force yourself into friendships. All right? Don't force yourself into friendships. People grow out of each other, and it's okay. Some people don't allow other people to be around them. Sometimes people feel like, yo, listen, I don't want that vibe around me or whatever. Don't force yourself into things. Respect people's free will and their choices. And all you could do is focus your energy on your natural flow. Because when you're in that zone of your natural flow, you will start to see who is for you and who is not for you. The natural rhythm will wash everybody in and out. You understand? So pay attention to those things. And really get to know your natural rhythm and your natural flow. Because when you get to know that, that is going to bring you up. That's going to elevate you to your next level. And that's that. So I really hope that you guys liked it. I enjoyed that. That was dope. That was a realization that I got. And it felt fucking great to get it, because I needed that. So sometimes your personal beach, your personal natural law of rhythm will wash things in and out. They say the beach washes itself, the sea washes itself, purges itself. So does your own natural rhythm. All right? So I wish you guys so much love, luck, light, and life. You know what I'm saying? And I wish you guys healing during your hurt times. I wish you guys nothing but beautiful transitions and a lot to feel good. All right? Thanks. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends. Mwah. Love you guys. Bye.